Every time you fill up, there's a 30% chance the station you're at has failed a fuel quality inspection. Water in the tanks, sediment in the lines, and in some cases, you're paying 93 octane prices for 87 octane fuel. But here's what nobody tells you. There are 12 brands that invested millions in fuel chemistry that actually works, certified by independent labs, endorsed by BMW, Toyota, and GM. Today, I'm ranking all 12, from good to the absolute best. And the #1 brand might surprise you. BP. BP is the most important brand to start with, not because they're the worst fuel available, but because they are the most dangerous example of a brand using marketing language to hide a decision they made a decade ago. BP was top-tier certified from 2013 until approximately 2016. Then they voluntarily left the program. Every other brand on this list either never left top tier or never joined it in the first place. BP joined, built consumer trust on that certification, and then walked away from the independent verification that certification requires. Their current marketing promotes something called the Invigorate additive system, with claims that it exceeds top-tier standards. Here is the critical problem with that claim. Top-tier certification requires independent third-party laboratory testing. Any brand can claim their fuel exceeds any standard. BP refuses to submit to the independent verification that would confirm or deny that claim. They are asking you to trust marketing copy without the lab data to back it up. There is a second problem. Even accepting BP's own internal claims at face value, only their premium grade exceeds top-tier treat rates. Their regular 87 octane and mid-grade fuel meet only the EPA minimum. The vast majority of fuel BP sells does not reach the standard their marketing implies. If you fill up with BP regular, which most BP customers do most of the time, you are paying a branded station price for EPA minimum chemistry. BP has over 7,000 stations in the United States. The brand recognition is enormous. Drivers trust the name. That trust is being used to charge premium prices for a product that stopped meeting premium standards in 2016. At number 12, BP is the brand that looks legitimate and isn't. Arco. Arco is owned by Marathon Petroleum, which also owns the Marathon branded stations ranked higher on this list. That connection matters because Arco draws on Marathon's refining infrastructure and additive capabilities. Arco is top-tier certified. The detergent package meets the concentration requirements across all grades. Arco's strongest presence is on the West Coast, particularly California, where CARB, the California Air Resources Board, imposes fuel standards that go beyond the federal EPA requirements. Any fuel that clears California's regulatory bar is performing above the national baseline. What keeps Arco at number 11 is positioning. Arco stations are built around competitive pricing, which means the additive package typically sits near the top-tier minimum rather than significantly above it. The certification is real. The engine protection is real. The detergent concentration headroom above the minimum is smaller than the brands higher on this list. For drivers who want top-tier certification without name brand pricing, Arco is a legitimate option. Understand you're getting certified quality at the entry level of the standard, not the premium end. Mobil. Mobil and Exxon merged in 1999 to form Exxon Mobil, but standalone Mobil branded stations still operate in many markets. The fuel chemistry is the same Exxon Mobil synergy system used at Exxon locations. 9 separate additives, 3 targeted detergents, a friction modifier, and a corrosion inhibitor all in one package. OA independent testing measured Exxon regular grade fuel at 20.0 milligrams of detergent per 100 milliliters, the highest concentration measured among all regular grade fuels in that study. Mobil stations draw from the same supply and the same additive system, which means the chemistry at a standalone Mobil pump is identical to Exxon. Mobil sits at number 10 rather than higher because of distribution consistency. Standalone Mobil stations are less common than they were before the merger, and in some markets, the blending and delivery logistics are less standardized than at dedicated Exxon locations. The chemistry is the same. The execution varies by market. If you have a Mobil station and no Exxon nearby, you are getting the same synergy technology. This is not a compromise. It's the same product under a different sign. Sunoco. Sunoco built its reputation in racing, and that is not a marketing claim. It is documented operational history. Sunoco has supplied fuel for the Indianapolis 500 for decades. Engineering fuel that performs reliably under sustained extreme stress and competition conditions requires genuine technical capability, and that capability carries into consumer products. Sunoco is top-tier certified. In many Northeast markets, where their station density is highest, Sunoco offers 93 to 94 octane premium fuel. Most competitors cap premium at 91 octane. For turbocharged engines and high compression engines, that additional octane headroom allows the engine management system to run more aggressive ignition timing, which translates to measurably more power and better efficiency. Sunoco also offers ethanol-free premium fuel at select locations. Ethanol absorbs moisture, degrades faster than pure gasoline, and can damage rubber components in fuel systems not designed for ethanol blends. Classic car owners, motorcycle riders, and marine engine operators, finding a reliable ethanol-free premium source is genuinely difficult. Where Sunoco provides it, that is a significant practical advantage over every other brand on this list. The limitation is pure geography. Sunoco's network is concentrated in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Outside that region, this recommendation is theoretical. 76. 76 is a Phillips 66 subsidiary, and the connection is direct. Same refining infrastructure, same additive technology, same top-tier certification that Phillips 66 has held since the program launched in 2004. 76 brand is the West Coast access point to nearly a century of Phillips 66 fuel engineering. California's CARB regulations are the strictest fuel standards in the United States. 76 meets all of them. A fuel that satisfies California's regulatory environment is by definition performing above the national standard. This is not a marketing claim. It is a regulatory fact. The practical advantage of 76 on the West Coast is station volume. High traffic locations mean fuel is moving constantly rather than sitting in underground storage. Detergent packages in gasoline are stable but not indefinite. Fresh fuel with an active additive package is measurably better than fuel that has been sitting in tanks for weeks. High turnover stations eliminate that variable. If you're in California or the surrounding West Coast states, 76 gives you Phillips 66 chemistry at a brand that's everywhere. Outside that footprint, look for a Phillips 66 station directly. Sinclair. Sinclair is the most underappreciated brand on this list, and the reason is geography. Sinclair stations are concentrated in the Rocky Mountain and central United States, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and surrounding states, which puts them outside the awareness of most drivers on the coasts. The dinosaur logo is one of the oldest brand identities in American fuel retail. What matters more than the logo is that Sinclair operates with significant regional refining infrastructure. Like Marathon, Sinclair controls portions of their own supply chain. Their Rocky Mountain refineries serve their station network directly in many markets, which creates the same quality control advantage that integrated supply chains always produce. Fewer handoffs, fewer points where consistency can degrade. Sinclair's DynoCare detergent package is top-tier certified and applied consistently across all grades. The engineering is legitimate and the pricing reflects their lower marketing overhead. You're not paying for national television campaigns in the cost of a Sinclair gallon. If you're in their footprint, Sinclair consistently outperforms its brand recognition. It's a top-tier product that most drivers outside the Mountain West have never considered. Phillips 66. Phillips 66 was founded in 1927. They were a founding member of the top-tier program in 2004, alongside Chevron and Shell, one of the original group that helped establish what premium fuel certification would mean. Nearly 100 years of fuel chemistry development is not a marketing line. It is accumulated engineering knowledge that exists in their current formulations because it was built over decades, when the standards came from engine performance requirements, not regulatory minimums. Phillips 66 applies the same detergent package across all octane grades. Regular 87 octane receives identical additive chemistry to premium 91. This is a deliberate decision, and it matters for the majority of drivers who buy regular grade fuel regularly. A brand that reserves its best chemistry for premium while giving regular the minimum is protecting one customer segment while leaving the rest with less. Phillips 66 doesn't operate that way. Their strongest presence is in the central and western United States. Within that footprint, Phillips 66 is one of the most reliable top-tier options available. Nearly a century of engineering behind every gallon, applied equally regardless of which grade you pump. Marathon. Marathon, Hammad runs no Super Bowl commercials. There are no celebrity endorsements and no memorable brand slogans. What Marathon has is vertical integration, and in the fuel business, that structure matters more than advertising spend. Marathon refines crude oil, blends their own additive packages, and distributes to over 5,000 stations under their own brand. Every step of that process is controlled internally. Compare that to a branded station buying commodity fuel from a third-party refinery and adding additives at a distribution terminal. That model has multiple handoff points where consistency can vary. Marathon eliminates those handoffs. Top-tier certified. Consistent detergent application across all grades. Direct control over base fuel quality before the additive package is added. A level of quality control that pure marketing brands buying from external refineries structurally cannot match. Marathon is frequently priced near generic station levels despite delivering top-tier chemistry. The integrated supply chain removes middleman costs, and some of those savings reach the pump. This is the fuel industry equivalent of buying factory direct. Same or better quality, lower cost, because the supply chain is shorter. Exxon. Mobil's Synergy fuel system is the most technically documented consumer fuel product on this list. 9 additives total, 3 separate detergent formulations, 1 targeting intake valve deposits, 1 formulated for fuel injector deposits, 1 focused on combustion chamber carbon, a friction modifier, a corrosion inhibitor, 4 additional proprietary components. These are not marketing categories, they are distinct chemical formulations with different molecular targets. Way independent testing measured Exxon regular grade fuel at 20.0 milligrams of detergent per 100 milliliters. That was the highest concentration among all regular grade fuels tested. For drivers who buy 87 octane, which is most drivers most of the time, Exxon delivers the highest independently verified detergent concentration in the regular grade category. The 3 detergent architecture is a meaningful engineering choice. A single detergent designed to address multiple deposit types is a compromise at each target. 3 separate detergents, each optimized for its specific chemistry, is a more precise and more effective approach. Exxon's testing data supports this. Continuous synergy use removes existing deposits while the multi-component additive system prevents new formation. Exxon ranks at 4 rather than higher primarily because of pricing. In many markets, Exxon stations carry a price premium above comparable top-tier competitors. The chemistry justifies a premium over EPA minimum stations. Whether it justifies a premium over equally certified competitors is the question the brands above it answer differently. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. Shell looked at the top-tier standard, which already requires detergent concentrations significantly above the EPA minimum, and decided that wasn't enough. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus delivers 7 times the EPA required detergent level up the Kramerils in premium grade. AAA testing measured Shell premium at 31.0 milligrams of detergent per 100 milliliters. That was the highest concentration measured among all premium grade fuels in that study, higher than Chevron, higher than Exxon, higher than every other premium fuel tested. The nitrogen-enriched cleaning system is Shell's distinguishing technology. Nitrogen molecules are incorporated into the detergent package and serve 2 functions simultaneously. The detergent component removes existing deposits. The nitrogen chemistry forms a protective molecular layer on metal surfaces after cleaning. The surfaces don't just get cleaned, they get a barrier that slows future deposit formation. Shell's fuel doesn't just react to what's already there, it guards against what forms next. Shell also includes friction modifiers specifically designed for direct injection fuel injector tips, where combustion temperatures exceed 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. Direct injection injectors are exposed directly to combustion heat rather than being cooled by incoming fuel mixture. Deposit buildup on injector tips is one of the most common and most costly maintenance issues in modern GDI engines. Shell's formulation addresses this specifically. Shell's regular 87 octane contains the nitrogen-enriched additive package. Premium delivers higher concentration, but the underlying chemistry is present at every grade. 7 times the EPA minimum is an independently verified measurement, not a marketing approximation. Shell sits at number 3 rather than number 1 because of pricing. V-Power Nitro Plus carries a consistent premium above most competitors. The chemistry is the highest documented on this list. The cost is also the highest on this list. Chevron with Techron. Chevron did not join the top-tier movement. Chevron created the additive chemistry that made it possible. Techron entered the market in 1981, more than 2 decades before top-tier existed as a program. The chemistry Chevron developed was PEA, polyetheramine. PEA became the benchmark that every other fuel detergent is measured against. When the automakers who founded top-tier in 2004 established which additive chemistry would be required, PEA was the standard they built the program around. Chevron's invention became the industry's definition of quality. The distinction between PEA and cheaper alternatives matters in a specific, measurable way. The alternative, PIBA, polyisobutyleniamine, provides cleaning action but can contribute to combustion chamber deposits in direct injection engine configurations. PEA cleans intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers simultaneously without creating secondary deposit problems. It solves the issue without introducing a different one. That distinction is why automakers specify it. APA testing found top-tier fuels, including Chevron, produce 19 times fewer intake valve deposits than non-top-tier fuel after 4,000 miles. Chevron's deposit removal and testing reached up to 50% within 4,000 4,500 miles in engines that had accumulated carbon from lower quality fuel. These are not projected numbers. They are measurements from controlled testing. Techron is in every Chevron grade. Regular 87 gets the full package. Chevron is recommended by name in owner's manuals from multiple major automakers. A manufacturer-level endorsement that reflects 40 years of documented performance, not a brand partnership. Chevron ranks at number 2 for one reason: geography. Chevron stations are concentrated in the western United States. In large portions of the country, Chevron is not a practical option. The chemistry is the standard. The availability is the limitation. Costco Kirkland Signature. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus delivers the highest documented detergent concentration of any premium fuel tested. Chevron with Techron invented the PEA chemistry that the entire top-tier program was built on. Both are objectively excellent products by every chemical measure. Here is why neither of them is number 1. A fuel recommendation that most drivers cannot access doesn't serve most drivers. A fuel that delivers marginally higher chemistry at 30 cents per gallon more doesn't serve drivers who can get equivalent top-tier protection for significantly less. The best fuel recommendation is the one that delivers certified quality at the price that makes it the rational choice for every driver who can access it. Costco Kirkland Signature gasoline is top-tier certified. It delivers 5 times the EPA detergent minimum in both regular and premium grades. Not just premium, both. The Lubrizol additive package is injected on-site at each station during fuel delivery, which means concentration is controlled and verified at the point of dispensing, not at a refinery hundreds of miles away. Costco sold approximately $30 billion in gasoline in fiscal 2024. That volume creates the highest fuel turnover of any single retailer in the US market. Fuel moves constantly, which means fresh gasoline with an active additive package is what reaches your tank. The price is 21 to 35 cents per gallon, below comparable top-tier competitors. The math is straightforward. A driver buying 600 gallons per year saves $126 to $210 annually compared to Shell or Chevron pricing. Over 5 years, that is $630 to $1,050 in savings while receiving independently certified top-tier detergent protection at 5 times the EPA minimum. AAA specifically cited Costco as delivering top-tier chemistry at the lowest prices of any certified brand tested. That combination, verified chemistry, documented price advantage, structural freshness advantage from volume, is not matched by any other brand on this list. The one caveat is access. If there is no Costco station on your regular routes, Chevron with Techron is the best alternative in the western US, and Shell V-Power Nitro Plus is the strongest option nationally. But for any driver with Costco access, filling up anywhere else means paying more for the same or less protection. That is the definition of being scammed, and it's completely avoidable. Why the chemistry actually matters. You have now seen all 12 brands. Here's the technical foundation that explains why the differences between them are real, not marketing. All gasoline sold in the United States must meet EPA minimum standards for detergent additives. The minimum exists to prevent basic engine fouling. The problem is that minimum means exactly that, the floor, not the ceiling. A station meeting the EPA minimum is doing the least required by law, nothing more. In 2004, BMW, General Motors, Honda, and Toyota established the top-tier detergent gasoline standard because the EPA minimum was insufficient for modern engines. Top-tier requires detergent concentrations significantly above the EPA minimum across all octane grades, mandates the use of effective additive chemistry, specifically PEA-based formulations, and requires independent laboratory verification. A brand cannot claim top-tier status. They must earn it through third-party testing. A tested top-tier versus non-top-tier fuel in controlled conditions. The result? Top-tier fuel produced 19 times fewer carbon deposits on intake valves after 4,000 miles. Not 19% fewer, 19 times fewer. The average driver using low-quality fuel loses up to $1,000 per year in reduced fuel economy, carbon buildup, and eventual repair costs. The price difference between a top-tier station and a commodity station is 2 to 5 cents per gallon. On 600 gallons per year, that is $30 in extra cost versus up to $1,000 in losses. The math runs one direction only. The key additive is PEA, polyethyramine. It cleans intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers without leaving residue. The cheaper alternative, PIBA, can actually contribute to combustion chamber deposits in direct injection engines while cleaning other areas. Modern vehicles are increasingly GDI, gasoline direct injection. For those engines, the choice between PEA and PIBA chemistry is not a marginal difference, it is a meaningful one. Check toptiergas.com before you commit to a regular fill-up station. The list is current and takes 30 seconds to verify. If the brand you're using isn't on it, you now know exactly what that means for your engine. You now know which 12 brands actually protect your engine. Stop funding the ones that don't.